Happy Friday and welcome to CCTU Take 5. I'm Bill Van Amburg.
And I'm Alycia Gilde.
Well, we're very pleased to have joining us today the head of sustainability for Scania and also by linkage with the Traton Group, but for Scania itself, Andreas Foller. Thank you so much for joining us today from Sweden. Your CEO has now taken on the head of the Traton Group, which is really quite exciting news because of Scania's leadership. And you've had such a powerful role at Scania, really among most manufacturers. You've been one of the most aggressive in your commitment to the pace of electrifying trucks and buses. Can you give us a quick sketch on Scania's commitment to production of zero-emission trucks over the next few years?
Sure. And it's great to be here, Bill. Hello, Alycia. And I'm happy to give you a short background, I guess, because it all started a couple of years ago, I would say, when we decided to change the purpose of the company. So the purpose of Scania today is to drive the shift towards sustainable transport. Mm-hmm. And obviously, the technologies of the future are battery electric, we would say. We've done the analysis and we see that is what will take on from now on. As a proof point also for our driving the shift strategy here is that we have set science-based carbon reduction targets. And we know that the conventional technology will take us so far, but then we need to electrify to be able to reach carbon reduction targets in line with the Paris Agreement. So we're now going all in on battery electric, I would say.
That is great. Andreas, congratulations on all the great work that you all are doing, and we're so fortunate to have you. So would love to hear from you. What applications do you see are successful around electrification? And then over the next few years, what are your plans in terms of applications that you might be electrifying?
Well, with time, all applications and user cases will be a great fit for electrified transport. So let me be clear on that. But of course, it's going to be a development towards that. We are expecting to have approximately 10% of our volumes by 2025 and up to 50% of our total sales in 2030. Now remember that Scania has around 80% of our sales in the really heavy segments, long haul segments. And by 2040, we see that the internal combustion engine will have very, very hard time to compete on any applications. So we will more or less be all electrified by 2040. Now, today we are serial produce, of course, plug-in hybrids, but also fully electric regional or city application. So that's on the shelf now. And I can proudly say that by 2023, we will have a long-haul truck being able to carry 30 to 40 tons for 4 hours in highway speeds and be able to recharge in 45 to 60 minutes. So that's in the plan, and that will be released now by 2023. So
by the way, that's fantastic news. that is fantastic by 2023.
Yeah, it is. So it's going in a breathtaking pace now, and with the batteries that we have secured from Northvolt's, and we're seeing now that everything is starting to get in place to be able to serve all our customer base with these fantastic products.
This is really exciting because one of the things we've been talking about is getting long-haul, zero-emission, so heavy-duty trucks launched in the United States by at least 2025. You're looking at really making that capability available and launched in 2023, which is fantastic. Yeah. You're ahead of most other truck makers on this. Do you think they'll be following soon behind? They must.
They must, because the total cost of operation will be superior when we get the infrastructure in place, so these can be charged. Remember that our customers, they are very different. There is no typical transport company. They're all different. They all require differences in flexibility and distances and the way they are planning their business. But when we are getting the infrastructure in place, both on the depots and along the major highways, then the total cost of operation in these products will be superior, and then everybody has to follow.
So yeah, this is a really great point that you're making, and not getting infrastructure in the ground soon enough can become a barrier. So wanting to hear from you on what barriers are you experiencing and what are you doing to address them? How can we overcome the barriers to electrification?
How should I put it? It's all barriers now, right? Let's be honest. It's all challenging now. I mean, to have these conversations with our customers, we're all excited about it, but we have to also be very, very sober and listening to our customers. You have the operational challenges. You have to train the drivers. You have to understand how and where you can charge. You have uncertainties on the residual values. I mean, the cost is going to be higher in the upfront. I mean, it's all challenges right now, but we're confident that with experience now we're going to start to solve them one by one. So I think what is important at this point is that we all get around now the customers, our customers, the transport companies, and help them to adopt to this, because that is key. And everything we can do from the governmental side, from the city side, and from the OEMs and from the wider societies to help the adoption now is key.
You know, it's such a good point, because I think we're really starting to see the manufacturers lean in and actually help their customers realize that this is a better business case, but we can get to it. We have to work together, and really knocking down those barriers requires fleets, utilities, manufacturers, governments all working together, kind of pulling the same direction. Is this one of the main reasons Scania has been such a big supporter of our global Drive to Zero program, and we've really appreciated that support?
It is. I think what we're seeing now, I mean, it's enlightened self-interest, isn't it, in the end of the day? So what we're seeing now is that if we can be transparent about our plans, if we can be bold in our ambitions, then we also have a voice when we're talking to decision makers and politicians on what we need to make this happen together. So definitely being one of those that commits to these targets and these ambitions is also helping us, and in the end of the day, our customers.
That's great. Andreas, we're so lucky to have you as a part of the Global Drive to Zero program, and with the MOU that's requesting and encouraging partners to transition to 30% zero-emission commercial vehicles by 2030 and then 100% by 2040, and then hearing your timeline today, which is really exciting. How do you think your leadership in Global Drive to Zero will help carry along other manufacturers?
Well, as I said before, I mean, I think that in the end of the day, we are pretty aligned among the major OEMs of the world. But I think also that we have to be humble in terms of the uncertainties that still are there. We have chosen now to be bold and to be transparent of our plans. And I just hope that other OEMs and other players in the transport ecosystem finds that this is the best way forward.
I think we will see a lot of that, hopefully, at COP26, and really raise those ambitions and have governments really lean into this and realize it's not just setting regulations, it's regulations and supporting infrastructure and investments and the like. Any final thoughts we may have missed, or thoughts you may want to share with us before we close our conversation today?
I think it's been a great conversation. Just to underline your last point there, Bill, on the need now to seriously invest not only in the charging infrastructure, this high power charging that we're talking about, but also making sure that we make investments in the grid, because we're talking about transferring power in very, very large scale here. We have now made a joint venture together with Volvo and Daimler to invest own money in charging infrastructure in Europe. And we are expecting governments now to really balance their demands on CO2 with investments in the electric grid that will enable it.
This is really where we need to go, both for the built environment and for the transport environment, which are merging so quickly together out of kind of one energy source, which is powerful. I will say we're trying to follow your European model here in the United States, and we are trying at CalSTART to pull together all the manufacturers to really send the signal to government of the infrastructure investments that we need on corridors and fast charge hubs. And Alycia has just launched a program with our California Energy Commission here to really put the first megawatt scale charging into test phase so that we can start getting that out on corridors. So, Andreas, we look forward to working with you, Scania, and the Triton Group, which is Navistar here in North America, as we push this forward together. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, these are great topics. I'm glad we had a short time to walk through it, but sadly, that's the end for this edition of CCTU Take 5. I'm Bill Van Amburg.
And I'm Alycia Gilde. Make sure to register for our CCTU mailing list on our website to keep updated with all of our upcoming Take 5 releases and our live CCTU broadcasts.
Also, follow us on Twitter to stay connected. We're at CalSTART.
And
we'll CCTU.